Hey there, this is Clay with modernlove.life, and in this video, we're going to be talking about a few signs that your ex already moved on. Moving on is a interesting topic because people think that they know what it means, but they really don't know what it means. Many times we think that moving on just means, okay, I'm dating other people, therefore I've moved on, or something like that. Or okay, I have zero feelings for you because I'm a statue or something like that, therefore I have moved on. But that's not exactly what it means. What moving on actually means is that we're not in reaction to the breakup anymore, and that we can actually have an intentional interaction with our ex or with someone else moving forward. And this is actually a good thing. We actually want our ex to move on because now they can intentionally interact with us rather than just acting in some sort of impulsive, emotional way where they're acting petty, they're trying to get revenge, they're trying to do something just out of some sort of emotional impulse, okay? Moving on is actually a good thing in a lot of ways, but let's go ahead and get into a few signs that this might be happening. So of course, obviously the first one is that they're not reacting in an overly emotional sort of way. Don't get me wrong, people can often fake this. You know, they can just sort of like stuff it down, you know, pretend like, yeah, I don't feel anything towards you at all. I never felt anything towards you at all. In fact, I think I never cared about you. Like, obviously that's not genuine, right? Like, assuming the two of you had a real relationship, they obviously felt something for you. And so if they're just trying to paper over it and pretend like they just never cared or they couldn't care less or something like that, it's probably disingenuous. But if they're just, you know, like, yeah, you know, we had a good run and we had some good times together, but you know what happened, and we just have to accept it and moved on. You know, if that's coming from a really genuine place, then okay, that's what moving on means, okay? Now, of course, where they're at is they think moving on means moving on in a different relationship, and maybe it does, I don't know. But at least if they're emotionally at a place where they're not just impulsively reacting in some way where it's like, oh yeah, well you did this, and I'm never talking to you because you're that kind of person, and I couldn't believe that you would dare to do this to me and disrespect me in such a crazy, like that's obviously an emotional kind of response, right? That means that they're definitely not over you in that case. This includes things like rebound relationships and all that stuff as well too. Anyway, but that's the first sign. Are you getting a calm, intentional, measured response from them, or is it emotional in nature, even if it's just sort of like papered over to the point where they're, you know, trying to, I just don't care. I don't care. I don't care at all. You can say whatever you want. I just don't care. Like that, obviously that's fake, right? Next sign is, can they have a reasonable interaction with you without suppressing any sort of instability, right? So are they able to interact with you in a reasonable sort of way without feeling like they have to suppress it, put on that false mask of like, I could care less, right? So you have to be able to see through this a little bit. You have to be able to be present, be engaged in the moment, have empathy, all of these advanced relational skills that we've talked about before. By the way, we have a whole video playlist on advanced relational skills up there. It is a huge cornerstone about what we teach and what our philosophy is all about and what a lot of our students have had success with. So please check that out if that is new to you. You should be able to tell if this is real or if this is just them stuffing it down and trying to pretend like they've got it all together. If you are dialed into the advanced relational skills, you should be able to know this. But basically, if they're having a reasonable interaction with you that's emotionally balanced out, that makes sense for what's happening between the two of you, and you know, they're being emotionally genuine and honest, then you should be able to know that, like, okay, this is at least a genuine and honest conversation we're having here, and they're not just trying to, you know, paper it over with some sort of pretense or some sort of act of, you know, yeah, I've got it all together, or you're some sort of terrible jerk or something like that, like I was just role playing a moment ago. So as we go forward into this last thing here, you know, if you do like these videos that we're doing, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button for the channel. It does help us out with YouTube. It does help us out with the algorithm. And if you want to as well, please leave a comment down below letting me know what sorts of videos you'd like to see us make in the future. If it's something that seems like it would be applicable to lots of people, we'll probably go ahead and make that video if we, you know, look into it and it seems like a lot of people would benefit from it. So go ahead and leave some suggestions down below. They help me out. They help me brainstorm ideas for things to do next time on YouTube. But anyway, basically your ex has moved on. If you want to see that as a positive way or in a negative way, if they are able to interact with you, and any interaction that they have with you is based off of intention rather than reaction, okay? So are they just doing something because you did it and they're just trying to do the opposite because they're a contrarian or something like that? or are they just consciously doing something because it makes the most sense for them? That's really the main measure about whether or not they are reacting or whether or not they are intentionally doing something. It's the main measure between whether or not they have moved on or whether or not they're still emotionally stuck in this. And once again, this can be a positive thing or a negative thing. Like, just because they're dating someone else, just because they are in a rebound relationship, doesn't mean that they've moved on. That relationship could be a reaction to the relationship that they had with you. We have a whole video playlist on rebound relationships. There's all sorts of things like displacement. There's all sorts of things like dating someone who's the exact carbon copy of you or the exact polar opposite of you. These are obviously not signs that someone has moved on. Or are they intentionally doing something and they're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start dating someone now, and it's going to be super intentional because I've processed my emotions and I know I've always wanted to be in a relationship with someone like this, who has this quality and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. In which case it's not a reaction to you, but it's an intentional move forward for them. If that's what's happening, then that's probably like them moving on. On the other hand, you know, them having an intentional interaction with you where the two of you can be real with one another, that's them moving on as well too. The two of you can move on together, hopefully, and the two of you can actually create a new beginning together if both of you are willing to move on, if both of you are willing to intentionally create something together rather than just emotionally reacting to things from the past. So if that is something that you want some help with, we of course do have our course called the X Solution Program. You can find that over at modernlove.life/ESP. There's also a link to that down in the description box below. But once again, thank you so much. Take care. And if you did like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment down below letting me know what sorts of videos you'd like to see next. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.